2025, and the time is 5:34 p.m. We do have a quorum on present. So our first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the May 5th, 2025 CTC meeting. Motion.
I'll make a motion we approve May 5th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next, we have number 3A is the reimbursement approval for road and sign materials to the Chester County Roads Department in the amount of $24,960.15.
I'll make a motion we approve the reimbursement for the road and sign materials.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next, we have 3B, which is consideration of approval of a grant match using CTC funds in the amount of $50,000 for the TAP grant awarded to Chester County School District. We have from AMT Engineering, Richard Turner here. Come forward and speak to us.
Good evening, good afternoon, evening. So Richard Turner with AMT Engineering. We'll talk to you a little bit about the TAP grant application that was submitted back in March. I have a presentation for you.
Yeah, it's,
There it is.
it was sent before the roads one. I sent it first.
You're pointing that thing at me, Richard. I wonder what you're doing.
You're gonna hit the button when I point it. Will it work now? There we go. Okay, you guys see that? We've got, so what I've got on the screen here is an or a plan view of the TAP grant application of the project that we applied for on your behalf and on behalf of Chester County School District. It was in the name of the school district, which was a strategic move as well to allow you guys to also be eligible to apply for another grant during the same year or two as this was being constructed. So it was done back in March. The total cost is $1.7 million, which I'll get to that in a second. But what you can see on the screen there, its plan is for it to be a 5-foot sidewalk to be constructed along Village Drive from the western entrance to the Woodhaven subdivision up to the intersection there with McCandless and Village Drive, and then all the way down to Highway 9 there next to the Chester Nature Park. Additionally, it'll tie into with a 10-foot shared use path to the Chester Middle School, which ties in directly to a path that shows on the screen there is proposed sidewalk by others. DR Horton and Four Star are building Woodhaven, and they're also building a portion of that path that ties into the Chester Middle School property. And this project would then continue that path down to tie into the sidewalks and pathways that run around the middle school. It's like I said, Village Drive, McCandless Road, and then the pathway on the school property itself. I'm going to give you a breakdown of the cost associated with it. The total project estimate is $1.74 million. Of that, you guys were awarded a grant that will cover up to 80% of the project from a federal match program. There will be a local match program of 20%, which will show there's $348,000 that would have to come from local, being local as the state of South Carolina or Chester County School District. And I've got a breakdown of that. So 10%, SCDOT has agreed to pay 10% of that cost. And then the additional 7% coming from Chester County, 2% from Chester County School District, and then there's been a private donation from Four Star that's doing the Woodhaven subdivision up to $20,000. So what has happened thus far is, like I said, it's been awarded and it's been funded up to $500,000 at this point to go make this project into 2 phases. The first phase is we funded up to $500,000, in which there would be 20% of that would be a match. It would be the local match, which equates to $100,000. $50,000 of that will come from the DOT. which is the question that we have tonight. There will be a second phase, which will be additional funds will be made available due to the second phase once the design, engineering, and permitting is completed. The state then at that time they would fund the remaining amount necessary to complete the project. There will be an addition, the balance of that breakdown there, that local match breakdown would be due at that time. So in addition, in a future fiscal year, then you would have to be prepared to fund that amount for that remaining balance. That's what I have for you. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Administrator Hester, would you have any comments?
So I know that one of the questions would be is to, obviously we use CTC funds for the first 50,000. The other part of that is where will we get the other 50,000 in the future year, fiscal year. So we would either budget that in our capital, take it out of CTC again. We would have that option, is that correct, in the following year out of small project funds?
That's correct.
Okay. Or I have had some discussion with, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this to council when this first came up, but there have been a few, we'll call it private resources within the community that have offered to pay for a portion of this as well. I would say the dollar amounts from those private entities would be probably in the lower 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 range. But some people who have vested interest in seeing, and I say vested interest, members of the church community that are associated that would like to see this project done as well over there off the Village Drive. And so while that is not set in stone, the weight on that was to see if we got accepted for the grant and kind of how much money was going to be needed. So there are some additional funds that could come to the county from private resources.
Well, is it all on school district property?
No, so the only thing, if we go back to that map, the only thing that's on school district property is what you see kind of behind the school there that ties into the subdivision. And that's going to be paid for by the school district. Yes, sir.
Is that portion of the project paved also, or is that just a footpath for gravel or whatever?
That'll be a 10-foot wide, presumably a concrete path. It could be asphalt, but presumably a concrete path.
Something hard surface?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
It'd be wide enough for handicap, wheelchairs, those kinds of.
Absolutely. It'll be 10 feet wide, so it'll be wide enough for two or they're on a bike, wheelchair, walking, both directions.
I want to ask, it's kind of an unrelated question about Chester Park up there. That's the school's park up on the corner, correct?
It is.
It is.
The Chester Nature Park, it would connect to the Chester Nature Park as well, but that is the school's park.
Okay. I know that one's in need of some repair as well.
So in terms of action for today,
To just approve the use of CTC funds for the first $50,000, correct?
correct. I'll entertain that motion, or pleasure of council.
Make a motion, we approve the expenditure of $50,000 for phase one of this project.
I'll second.
To be clear, that's from CTC funds.
It is, and that's in both of the roads presentations that will be presented. It's already in the budget that Ms. Bagley will talk about, or either Mr. Conker.
All right, is there any more discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right, all in favor. Thank you very much, Mr. Turner. Thank you. All right, next up we have 3C, which is consideration of abandonment of Cold Stream Circle repairs. We have our Public Works Director, Kevin Bagley, here.
Good evening, council. I do have the other presentation. Thank you. Okay, Coldstream Circle is a small road with two dead ends, and it was damaged in Hurricane Helene. It's adjacent to a floodplain, and this is in District 5. In order to mitigate future issues, we would need to have a hydrology study done and probably upsize this culvert that goes across the creek where the road was washed out. Mr. Darby and his team have really helped us with the FEMA process post-Helene. And FEMA has agreed to reimburse the county. The number on this slide says $25,500. It's actually $26,054. But that would not cover the cost of the hydrology study and the repair. So we recommend, because this really doesn't go anywhere, it just ends right after the creek, we recommend ending the road before the creek to help with future issues, let the creek flow, stop any backup in the creek, and stop any flooding above the culvert. So we recommend abandoning the road or pursuing abandoning the road before the creek crossing, putting up a permanent barrier, and cleaning the debris from the area. None of this has really been done because we were working with FEMA and going through this process. In order to officially abandon the road, and Mr. Cosler sent me an email with the process, but first we would need to know that that would be y'all's interest, and then it would need to go before court and appear in the paper, and letters would need to be sent to the adjacent property owners. I have made contact with the adjacent property owners. They are in favor of abandoning the road. At least that's what they told me in those conversations. And so that's the question is, would you guys like to pursue repairing this small section of road or abandoning this small section?
Let me mention one thing.
Miss Mosley is absolutely aware of the problem. Her mother lives on a road that was closed in Fort Long. The only road on this side of the bridge. Trying to find where she lives is very difficult because they didn't change the name of the road. So if you've got anybody that lives on these things, for goodness sakes, let's make sure the fire department, the ambulance service, police all know that. Because I challenge you to go find where my mom
I
is.
did, yes, sir. It won't take you there.
I'm not.
Google will not take you there.
We had those discussions and,
So there's not a, just to be clear, there's not a residence on the other side of the barriers, and there is the ability to access for the landowner that piece of property from another source one day.
Yes, sir. That property owner, is the biggest property owner and the property owner that portion of the road goes to. It also abuts J.A. Concord bypass, but he has no interest in developing that parcel anytime soon.
Where is this located?
It's
Off
between.
of Roundtree,
oh,
off of
the
Roundtree.
Roundtree hits.
Roundtree Circle, that's where it's at.
Okay,
That's Corliss District.
yeah. I gotcha.
Does council want to offer some direction on this?
So if it's abandoned, as you say, what does that mean afterwards? Just for clarity, if we all vote to abandon Coldstream Circle, what is the next step that we have to do? Is there anything further that you need from us, or is that to kind of take over? Or if we,
Have to ask you as far as the court process.
If county council moves forward with this after this meeting, then we would be able to begin the process by sending those notices, putting a notice in the newspaper, and also approach the court with a filing.
Who would the property go back to? If you abandon the road, is the property given back to the?
It does not change title unless the court orders that. So the county would presumably keep title if we have it, or the right of way. We simply would not be required to maintain the roadway anymore from between those points.
So if somebody got hurt on that property, it would be us.
If we still have title to the property, that's correct.
I think it's a dead end road.
Yes, sir.
will certainly be in favor of moving forward with abandonment. And as, if we begin to receive feedback that we can consider, and I'm sure there will be opportunity for us to stop and reconsider.
Okay.
You need action, a vote?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
We need to probably find out if any children stay over there in that neighborhood. Do you know?
I don't know. I don't think that the adjacent property owner who has a home right beside this area, has children in the home.
Can I ask you a question real quick? If it was abandoned, would it be left like it is, or would there be some work done, riprap put in there, dirt put in there to make the banks normal?
We would remove the debris, stabilize the banks, and look to put up permanent barriers to keep cars from going.
So it wouldn't be a ledge, it wouldn't be a drop off for someone, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I'll put that in a form of a motion that we move forward with abandonment of Gulfstream Circle. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All right. Motion is second. Is there any more discussion? Call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. Next up is the recommendation of roads to be paid for 2026 using annual C funds.
Yes, sir. So, we did work through two possible scenarios for the C-Fund money. As you know, we just received the recurring funds, not the one-time funds this year, so we had less to work with. We tried to score, using the new scoring mechanism, the roads that were on our radar, as far as complaints or coming from you or things we've just noticed in the field. And so, knowing all that, we have two suggested options. And I won't read through everything, but this is option one. You can look at each of the roads in your district. And if you have any questions about these, please just let me know, and I'll move on to option two. Some of the district's options didn't change from option one to option two, but some of the district's options did. And we did put the TAP grant participation phase one in the District 3 for both options. We did use the new scoring formula, so it does take into account the visual inspection, the incidents of repair, residences, churches, school bus routes, commercial businesses, industrial businesses, projected growth area, whether it's a through road, the density of the road, and the history of its paving, in order to come up with that score on the end. The higher the score, the worse condition the road is. Given the fact that we do have a significant number of roads that need attention, we feel like both options are strong options. But if I need to give you a recommendation, I would go with option two, because it leaves a little more in the contingency funding for gravel roads and sign refunds and things. It does get a little bit closer to the 33% that we are required to spend on the SCDOT portion, and overall has a higher average score as a package of 253 versus 235. And we could consider potentially using or applying for CPST with a roads package to address some of the other road needs as well.
Is Cindy Lane in the town of Fort Lawn?
I believe so, yes, sir. And those are together, Cindy and Michaela, even though Michaela doesn't score really super high, it saves money to put those together because they're right beside each other, and if you're going to mobilize, you can go ahead and mobilize the crew and knock both of those out at the same time.
Sydney Lane has a whole bunch of mobile homes, and am I right about that? If I remember that.
I'm not sure.
There's a significant number of single-wide mobile homes down there off of Sydney Lane.
I can tell you how many residences. Cindy Lane has 33 homes on it, and Michaela has 7. That's probably right, it's 4 or 5.
It's a trailer park.
So is it fair to say that the roads on option 1, yeah, would not get paid this time, would be at the top of the list for next time?
Yes, sir, I think they would be at the top of the list. I do want to go through, hopefully by the next time we're in this process, I would like to score all of our county roads. The ones that are brought to our attention and the ones that aren't, and standardize that score. So I'm not sure, once we do our 367 roads, which ones would rise to the top, but I imagine these would be among them.
All right, so I guess we're looking for some direction from council, option 1 or option 2.
I'll make a motion that we go with option 2.
Second.
So a motion and second to move forward with option 2. Any more discussion? I'll call for the question. Those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All in favor. All right, so we have the update on your 2025 road paving projects.
Thank you. Yes, I just have a quick update on those. The ICE roads, the one-time funding, they will start by late spring and they will be completed. There were 2 different projects. One were the 2 DOT roads. Those will be completed by September 30th of next year. And the other 7 roads will be completed by November 30th of next year. And the AMT roads, 9 roads, will start by October of next month and be completed by May of next year. That's all. Thank you.
Very much. All right, so that brings us to number 4, which is council comments. Are there any comments?
Can I ask Ms. Bagley
Yes,
one
sir.
other question, please, guys? The mayor of Richburg called me the other day and says the highway department has denied a permit to have the fall festival because the main street in Richburg is still under repair. Why would they do that? Why would they deny a permit of fall festival on a Saturday? Because they've been dilly-dallying around trying to pave that road for a year.
I would say liability. Because if there's a drop off, somebody trips and falls, and they're going to sue. That's the only reason I can figure, which
I can look into that if you want.
And it's right there at the park and the railroad, there's no reason. Who would you talk to? Who could I call to verify it?
So Ms. Bagley says she'll look into it, so she will. Sure she will.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anything else? Well, no, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.